All right, we're live. You're not on camera just yet. We're seeing a really nice view. This is Mark Horner, live beyond 90 seconds, just outside of Gold Bar, Index, that area, where the roadblock has been moved further east by about 3 miles just this afternoon, I believe, from when I was here on Saturday. That gets us closer to Mount Index. We're not quite to the roadblock. I'm at a high point where I actually have a cell signal, which is really surprising, and delighted because that allows me to go live and introduce you to Frank. So let's bring Frank on camera. And here's Frank. And actually, Frank, what I'm going to do is we're going to bring you up full here. There we go. With Mount Index right behind you. Of course, the fire is actually primarily on Mount Bering, which is just out of view to our left behind the nearby hill. But Frank, I was wondering if you could tell me about your Saturday morning, kind of the events, because it sounds like it was pretty dramatic.
Yeah, well, I woke up in the morning.
You're good. I got it.
And the smoke was bad, and there was ash. I could hear it raining outside, and I thought at first it was regular rain, but it was raining pine needles and ash. And then I went out and kind of looked around, and I could see this. It was pretty smoky and stuff, and so, just kind of took a couple pictures and stuff, and watched the sun disappear behind the smoke and everything, and reappear, and it kind of just happened all day long. Sometimes there was, it was steady ash and pine needles dropping, and sometimes I could see like hand-sized pieces of ash falling into the pool over at Sunset Falls. So it was, there were times where I was thinking about getting out of there, and then as the day progressed, sometimes, I seen the helicopters going overhead, and I thought, they were having a handle on it and stuff. And around, I think, about 4 o'clock, they issued the first evacuation orders, and I ended up waiting until about 8:30, I think, at night, and it was kind of getting worse, it seemed like to me, and I was tired. I didn't want to go to sleep back there in the bushes and end up with, not being able to wake up. So I left and came back over the course of a couple days, and finally it's supposed to be open down there where I'm going in. So
Okay. Frank and I have both just hiked up kind of a hillside off of Highway 2 on the south side, and I want to get back behind the camera here and make sure we still have Frank in the shot. And while I'm taking just a moment to do that, I want to see if we can share this on Twitter. I think we might be able to do that. Yes, indeed, we can. And hopefully it'll just give us a title here by default. And I'm just going to put live now. Thank you, people, for your patience. Thank you, Frank, for your patience. Get this tweet out there. Temperature about 68 degrees in this area as I came up the highway just now from Snohomish. We'll just tweet it this way. Okay, very good. So you talked about, well, you just made the remark that you didn't want to risk falling asleep because, as you told me off camera, you thought the smoke might get you and just knock you out, and you just go to sleep and never wake up.
yeah, that was a real concern. Stay in the night. So
the name of the community that you live in, again, is just outside of Index itself?
yeah, it's called Mount Index River Sites.
Okay.
So
beautiful area.
Yeah. The Sunset Falls is down there, and Bridalveil Falls, and Lake Serene up at the top.
I've hiked to Bridalveil Falls and all the way up to Lake Serene with a friend several years ago. It's absolutely phenomenal. Right at the top, as you say, right beneath the peaks with that beautiful water.
I mean, I've got trees on my property that are 500 and 600 years old. So old growth cedars and Douglas firs, and so yeah, I was concerned that the fire might come over the ridge, but I was really hoping that that wouldn't be the case. So,
how long have you lived up here?
Well, I haven't really lived up here. I've only lived up here this year, but I've had the property for like about 5 years, I think now, and just decided to come up this year. So I've been camping out in the open because my property up there is kind of rugged and, you know, in the backwoods. So, uh, it was, with the remoteness of it all and whatnot, that's one of the reasons why I I evacuated. Whereas some of the landowners that were back there that have houses and wells and electric and stuff decided to protect their properties. And I probably might have reconsidered, staying back there longer if I had, something to guard, you know. But but it certainly was smoky, and with my asthma, I just wasn't a good candidate for it,
You mentioned before we started the interview, before we went live, that there came a point where the whole sky was aglow before you left. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I was looking at it with some of the equipment that I have, and the hillsides were, there were parts of the hillsides that were given thermal signatures, and the sky was glowing back there. So there certainly you could see the glow from the off the clouds and or the smoke that was present, and it was you could just tell that the fire was close by, by everything that was happening. So
Before we wrap up, I've heard some people talk about the fires. Sure, that you're familiar with fires in the area, but not that close. They typically stay up higher and a bit further away. How top of mind has been the threat of a forest fire been to you as a property owner out here, and especially as you spent the last year here?
not at all. I mean, I never seen any fires here in the last year, and I've been up here in years prior where I wasn't living up here, but I just came up to spend some time on the land, and I've never had any concerns of fires up here until that day that I woke up.
Does anything change going forward for you in terms of how you feel about living up here or your preparation, things of that nature?
Well, maybe some of the preparation and stuff like that, but I think that it doesn't really change a whole lot for me. I got the land up there. I'm going to continue to use it, and I know that there's risks that comes with being out here in the Cascades. You can fall in the waterfall, the tree can fall on you, or a cat could attack you, or so fire and falling off the mountain, things like that. The wet out here it gets bad. And where I've got that land, it's pretty extreme, terrain up there. So I had this year I've had like a 7-foot bear come into the camp. And then I had a cat one time where I, fought a cat, where I had a cat, basically a standoff with a big cougar. So, I'm kind of know that things can go south up here, and you just have to be aware of what's going on around you.
Fantastic, Frank. I really appreciate your time. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you would like to add before you go down that slope back to
Well,
the highway?
I would say, when I came back to Seattle after that night, and I climbed in the shower and started washing off all the ash and dirt that was on me, I really had an appreciation for what I had been through, because I'm just looking at all the black going through the drain. So I guess I'll wrap up with that. It just was an experience.
Was that in Seattle where you took that shower? Or
Yeah,
was it...
yeah, in
Oh, okay.
Seattle. Once I was evacuated, I
Yeah.
cleaned up for the night, and man, I was a real mess.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you sharing your story with us, Frank.
Yeah.
Take care, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Have
keep.
a good night.
Yeah, you too. I'm gonna keep streaming a bit longer, just FYI. But again, thank you so
Good.
much.
What is your stream?
It's beyond 90 seconds on YouTube. So it's the word beyond.
Beyond 90 seconds.
Yeah, 90 seconds. That's me.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll look for it.
All right. Thank you, Frank. Really appreciate
Have a good
that.
night.
Thank you. I'm going to give you a look here in just a moment at a couple of other views as I just check another camera to make sure that it's not going to tip over. Frank and I are upslope from Highway 2 on the south side. And that'll give you an idea. Frank is down there somewhere. You can see some fresh burn along the side of the road. I asked Frank if he was any idea whether that was recent or not, that fresh burn. He says he believes it's since Saturday. All right, and I know there's a way to check comments on it, but I've got this app in a different, let's see if I can find it. Oh, that's not going to give it to me. Apologize, I'm shooting in landscape mode, and when I'm using this app on my phone in this way, it doesn't let me see all the features that I'm hoping to see. So I do apologize for that. I'm looking down the slope here, and it looks like Frank's going to make it to his car okay. I'm going to change another camera angle. Thank you for your patience. And in just a second, I'm going to run this microphone up my jacket, pin it back on. I hope you're able to hear Frank okay. We worked with one audio between the both of us. Or one microphone, I should say. Okay.
Yeah, this is certainly fresh fire.
That's certainly fresh fire down there?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Frank. Yeah, I could smell it when I pulled over, but I didn't know if it was from that burn or just what's in the air generally.
Yeah, that's all new.
Okay.
On top of that one.
Gotcha. Have a safe drive. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, sir. All right. And then I can flick this around. So I'm going to have to mark this spot. Good to know that I can actually get a usable cell signal to do a live stream up here. Usually it's nil to none when it comes to cell phone service. I have found I've been coming in up here over the years. I've even gone live back when Periscope was still an app that was out there, a Twitter app. And I was able to go live from the bridge right in the heart of Index years ago, but it was a real poor quality feed. Not the best, and the audio wasn't all that great. I was up here on Saturday in the Gold Bar area, and I got 1 or 2 bars. I have Verizon as my provider, and there was just no way I was going to try and do a live stream. So what I did that day was I just shot what I was seeing and shared it throughout the day, mainly video, some photos. And then I also did an interview with a gentleman who evacuated and put together a package, a story that was on YouTube. Is still on YouTube. I uploaded it Saturday evening. That man provided a lot of insight, shared his story with us. So here up on the hill just now, we're getting more insights from Frank, who's down there. And then I'm going to switch our view here in just a moment. That's the shot towards Mount Index. And again, Mount Index is not where the fire is burning. It would be to the left or to the north of it, but on Bering Mountain. But this hillside right here obstructs our view of Bering Mountain. And I'll show you the view around me here. Haven't got really a super leveled tripod set up, so we'll work with what we have here. So we turn it around and start to look toward the southwest. Some very large rocks up here, and now looking west. You know what? I think I had my mic that whole time. I think I had my mic on mute if I'm not mistaken. And that would be a real shame. Oh boy, how embarrassing. That would have been the benefit of wearing headphones with another setup that I have. Well, you win some, you lose some. Okay, thanks for your time, everybody. Have a good evening or day wherever you might be. Take care.